Hey, it's Raymond Tactical. What we're going to do is talk about a squad tactic. We talked about the squad tactics in sense of creating your group, your team, right? Well, now we're going to do squad tactics movement, right? So how do you move under fire, right? So in this scenario, you have three ISIS-looking guys who are behind this wall or shrub or bush, and you didn't see them. So your team here, let's say you have four. You're walking in this field. We'll keep it simple. They spot you. They start shooting, right? So they start shooting, you know. So they open fire, right? Well, you guys now will get down, right? So you get down in the prone position. So we'll put you in the prone. You know, I'm a terrible drawer. So you're going to be into the prone position, right? So your team's like this. You return fire, right? You return fire. So you need to get out of the situation, right? Because if you're pinned down, they're going to start figuring out how, they're going to figure out distance. They're going to figure out how to walk rounds into you. And what you're going to do is it's going to be called bounds and leaping or leaps and bounds, right? And you're going to basically set this up, right? So it's going to be, if you have four people, we're going to divide it in half. So this team here, they're going to get up. They're going to basically communicate, right? So we have to figure that out too beforehand, right? So your team works on a couple concepts. I've seen it where you can shout to the other team and say, cover me while I move. You look for a response. They should say, covering, right? You want that feedback. In some cases, if you get trained up really well and you're very fluid, it might be auto instinct, right? You automatically get it. You might yell immediately, moving, right? And so, this team will move, this team automatically will cover, right? For now, we're going to go under the simple concept. We're going to use very, very basics, right? So this team here, we're going to call them here. We're going to call them 1. We're going to call them 2. So 1's going to yell, cover me while I move. They're going to yell, cover. And then they're going to say moving, right? So they're going to move. They're going to use the concept here because it's open ground, right? I'm up, they see me, and when you hear the word or you mouth the word I'm down, you're back down here. So they're going to shoot ahead, right? So they're going to get to this point. So then you can say something back to them, set. So you're yelling back set, right? Again, this is another concept of working how your team works, right? So then this team 2 will go, cover me while I move, right? So they'll yell back, covering. So they're going to do covering fire, and they're going to move. So they're going to come up. They do the same thing. I'm up. They see me. I'm down. So they get to here. They try to shoot, hopefully a little bit further than you, so that you're kind of making a movement of one is going a little bit further. So they get a little bit further. Right? We'll put them, they got a little fast gymnast guy. So they get up here. So they get down, because they get set. They all set back here, right? So now you both are engaging, doing suppressive fire. Maybe you're hitting people. So this one, because the objective is to rush the objective, right? You want to engage and get closer to the enemy. This one I'll call back. Again, cover me while I move. They'll yell back, cover. And then they go moving, so they can move out. And they try to shoot ahead. And again, they see I'm up, they see me, I'm down. So they get about here. And they they yell set. And when they're set, they're in the prone position. They're trying to find cover, essentially, if there is any. And they're shooting. And they're engaging. This one does the same thing back. Cover me while I move. They yell cover. So they rush. They get to the objective. And you get here. And the whole point of this is to push through the objective, kill these people, and move on. Now, I did talk about cover. I probably should have talked about the difference between cover and concealment. The best analogy I've ever seen for cover and concealment is this. So, let's see. Cover is like a rock. And if I spell concealment right, concealment, which is probably wrong, is a bush. So you have cover and concealment, right? Concealment does nothing at this point, right? cover wood. So if there was, you know, big trees at this point, taking cover behind a tree, if there was a big rock, you know, hiding behind a rock, those are all key things to run to. And being able to use the cover to protect you, right? Because being out in the open sucks. One other thing you really want to look into, and a good way to practice shooting from cover, is a 9-hole board, which kind of looks like this. And people make them with different holes, different style target holes. There's a standard one, and there's like a standard one and not. Maybe I'll make it a little bit bigger. Let's see if I can do it up here. So there's going to be holes placed through it. Essentially 9 for traditional ones, but you can do whatever you want. You can make it, I make them out of half sheet of plywood. An 8x4 sheet will make 2 targets, or 2 9-hole boards. And so what you wind up having is, you can even put something here too. So you're creating and forcing yourself to shoot from an unusual shooting position, right? So the 9-hole board gives you a chance to shoot from cover, because not everything is going to be like a bench shoot, right? So you might have to get tucked up behind that board and try to stay in cover. And as you come out through shooting through a hole, you're taking your shots and coming back. And you're choosing a different way to come out and shoot from here. It's great training to get you to shoot and get you to focus on, 1, seeking cover, 2, shooting from very awkward positions where traditionally you're not going to be very stable, and you're not. This is where being flexible, getting in shape and getting fit will help you, because you're going to be trying to shoot from very awkward positions, and you're not going to be in the traditional kneeling. I mean, you can be kneeling, but you're not going to be in the traditional stances. And this gets you to the point of, if you apply this to an actual situation, you might, when you're shooting around a building or something, you're basically trying to keep yourself tucked in at the very most. Because if you're a right-handed shooter, you don't want your whole body, you want your body behind here. If you're a right-handed shooter and your leg is sticking out here, that's terrible. You've exposed yourself. So, again, terrible drawings, right? This also opens the opportunity to do offhand shooting, which is also just important. So if you're on this side and you go, while you're forced to the left side because your buddy's on the right side, well, maybe you're going to have to shoot offhand. And that's also where optics, or I shouldn't say optics, red dots really come into place. Red dots are awesome for shooting offhand. Iron sights for myself are very difficult, just the way you're trying to basically have left or right eye dominant. It's just difficult for me trying to line up 2 planes. I've noticed that it took a little bit quite a bit longer to line up and get where you're going. I mean, that's pretty much the movement under fire. One movement is doing the bounds and leaps, right? It's a real simple concept to do if you have